Hey all, here are OS Reviews. Today we're taking a closer look at a pair of TWS wireless buds called the Naenka Lite Pro, and these sell for under $60, so they are a little bit more expensive than some of the more generic ones we've checked out, but it also has kind of a more classy design. Other functions on here include using a Qualcomm 3040 chip, which is very good in terms of supporting codecs like aptX, as well as offering very low latency. In fact, it has a dedicated gaming mode that you can triple tap on the right side to enter, and that can cut down the lag by up to 50%. The shape, though, is very reminiscent of the Apple AirPods, so it has a semi-open shape. It doesn't have really a true in-ear silicone fit, and naturally has almost a transparency effect because it's not super tight. You can kind of hear what's going on around you. And the driver size is 13 millimeters, which is on the larger side. Most wireless buds have around 5 millimeters. And battery life is rated at 28 hours with the case, 7 hours for the buds when removed. Finally, these are IPX5 rated, so it will be light rain and splash proof. Now here's the packaging, presented pretty well in a rather large box, update your sound experience, but it has a slogan here, the best gift, that in a way I almost wish wasn't on here, because if you really were giving this as a gift, I'm not sure it would be the most classy thing to actually say that this is the best gift ever. We have another internal compartment that kind of glows and then opens up like this to present the buds on top. So clearly they put some attention into the presentation, unlike some of the other budget models we've seen in the past, but once again they say the best gift on the top. And inside of this little box we also have a Type-C charging cable, as well as a quick start guide. Now we have the black edition case here, and a few things stands out. It is extremely shiny, and depending on the lighting conditions, it almost looks slightly silverish at certain angles, so it does look quite good, although it is constructed out of polycarbonate plastic, so just like the Apple AirPods, it doesn't feel quite as premium as something that's made out of metal, for example. But the casing is very compact and small, so easy to slide into pockets when you're on the go. The bottom here has just the Type-C port for charging. Now this does not have support for Qi wireless charging, so just one thing to keep in mind. So right now it's green, it means that the battery is still very good, but it will turn red when the battery is under 20%. So it gives you a few indications also as you're charging it through the color of the light, which are presented pretty well, and they're held into place magnetically so they don't fall loose if you give it a bit of a shake. If we do a quick size comparison with the regular AirPods, you can see how similar the head here is, but the stem is a little bit shorter. We still have a microphone though on the bottom that is pointing a little closer to your mouth, which improves the call quality ever so slightly. There are pros and cons to having a semi-open shape, and the benefits, of course, is again the audio transparency effect. So if you are walking down a busy street, you can still be aware of cars or things going on around you. The downside is, again, weaker noise isolation, which means you can still have some noise leak in and leak out. You won't be quite as immersed in the music, and they are very comfortable, so you can wear these for the full 7 hours, super light, doesn't apply any stress, and it still feels good. Downside though is, again, because they are so lightweight, if you're doing vigorous sports like a ton of jumping or moving around, they also don't have as tight of a fit as something like a silicone wing or something grippy. Otherwise, they have touch controls, again like the AirPods, which were pretty responsive in my testing. On this section here, you can tap on it once, in fact, to raise the volume higher or lower on the left or right side. So I am really glad to see that you do have full volume controls on these. As far as the audio quality is concerned, overall I would say that these are above average, but they aren't going to be the best sounding wireless buds that I've ever tried. I think that's just a reflection of the fact that they are half open, since I do think that seal is pretty important, especially in smaller buds when it comes to improving the bass and the overall experience. So again, even though these do have pretty large drivers and the bass is present if you're listening to a drum beat or EDM music, it's not quite as shattering or vibration filled. Still, music sounded energetic, and for something that is, again, more loose in terms of its design, it did feel like it was still good in terms of the impact you got from lower frequency notes, and as a result it doesn't really overpower the mids or trebles. Plenty of details when it comes to instruments and vocals. Everything does sound very clean, so there aren't any hints of hiss or any distortion or humming in the background aside from the music itself, and the connectivity, as expected by using a flagship grade Qualcomm chip, is quite good. The advertised low latency mode is also effective, and it worked really well when it came to playing action games, PUBG, and having pretty much the lowest lag that you can find these days out of wireless buds. It's not going to be completely 100% invisible compared to a pair of wired headphones, but it's as good as as wireless technology is at the moment. And certainly if you're watching movies, you won't really feel problematic in terms of the video and audio are still synced together quite well. So that is more or less it as far as our hands-on review of the Naenka Lite Pro TWS wireless headphones, and as a whole they're really going for a slightly more fashionable look, I feel, in terms of the design of the battery case and the fact that it is pretty solid in terms of connectivity. With that being said, $60 you are definitely paying a little bit more due to having a slightly more unique shape of the casing, so arguably you can find cheaper deals considering that this doesn't have active noise cancellation, a companion app, or Qi wireless charging. But if all you need is something simple, you want it to still look elegant, but at the same time not pay as much as on more premium brands like Samsung or Apple, this still fits the bill, and overall I would say it's competitive in terms of the audio qualities. So you can learn more details if you're interested in the links down below. Overall, these can definitely be a bit more feature rich in my opinion, but not bad in terms of what it delivers in terms of performance. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.